Hi again. So this is a piece I started probably a couple of weeks ago. I got very involved in some things in life and put it aside and because I wasn't liking it. But that happens a lot when you're doing art journals, and this is actually just a loose piece of watercolor paper because I wanted to play around with something different. And it just sometimes you're doing something and you're not ready to trash it, but you just need to let it sit to the side for a while. And I think when I started this page, I had a lot of emotions, and some of them were not happy ones that day. And that happens. I mean, because that's why I sit down and do this. I'm either feeling really happy or sad or scared or, whatever. It just helps me work out whatever it is that I'm feeling. And I got the feeling looking back on her that I must have been having a really bad day. And so I set her aside, and now I'm getting her out today, and I'm trying to decide what direction I want to go with her. So I keep this little basket. It's time to put some more in it, but they're just little, tiny little bits and pieces of paper and ephemera. That's like, I don't know, Chinese writing from some newspaper or something. I don't know. But these are just small things that I throw in here to have right next to my desk. And so a lot of times I will just pull from this. Oh, that's kind of cute and whimsical. And I'll look at things and I'll go, that's interesting. It might have a place, and I'll just lay it out here on my table. And I might incorporate it and I might not. So that's kind of where I am today. I don't honestly know where I'm going to go with this from this point, but I just know I want to sit down and play. So I added, the only thing I've actually glued down since last time are just two little bits of like music paper that's going to be in the area of the nose. And then this is more of a shadowed eye, so I love music. I love music, manuscript, and I just love it. And so I chose this because it's got the treble clef, it's got some darker black lines, and this is her more shadowed eye. And so I thought I would start there as a base, is having this little piece of music down. This is my little trusty Yoo-hoo glue stick. If you don't have one, you're going to want one. I buy them by the case, but I will put the link below. If you're an Amazon girl like me, I like shopping and having it delivered to my door and not having to go out in Charlotte traffic to get stuff, if I can help it. So I think I'm just going to kind of glue down a few other bits of this paper. Just for some added texture and interest on this page. Some of these blend in with the colors like this one that I've already been using, and over here as well. So I'm not going to be painting over them or anything. I'm just going to put them down as they are. Whoops. These were just some little bits I had done, I guess, on my jelly plate. So they have like some little darker polka dots. Well, I'm lining those up to be more in the shadowed area of her face. So, if there's any rhyme or reason for this for me, that's what I'm thinking. The lighter area, going across her cheekbone. And so, just gonna plop this down. I don't want to overthink it too much, because I really like working intuitively. And this is just a little, actually a miniature playing card. And I've been playing with that on here. And I kind of like it over here, but I'm not ready to put that down just yet. So these are some other things that I brought into it. And I like to save, I don't get Chinese too often, but I like to save the fortune cookies. I've had some interesting ones in the last few months. This one says, you will have good luck and overcome many hardships. Well, who doesn't want to hear that? Phew, because I thought they were going to do me in. So I'm not quite sure. I might feature that down here when I finish doing whatever it is I'm going to do to the bottom of this. And I don't know how much detail I want to do. to her clothing or whatever. But I think I might save that to the end. But let me see. And I just kind of hold these different papers around the page to see if I want any of it or if I just want a portion of it. This has a lot of yellow and green, and this page really does not. So I doubt I will use this unless I decide to go back and pull off some of this original tissue paper that has little gold confetti embossed in it and use that like in a highlight area. And I don't know where that would be yet, so there's another one I'm going to set to the side with the idea of using them later. I laid this one out because it was kind of with these, but there's a little bit too much this yellow green in that, so I'm not sure about that. I also have some lace that I'm thinking of using somewhere in here. Maybe not all of it, maybe a piece of it, you know, just for the texture. I may leave it as it is. I may paint over it so that I just have the texture, which I kind of like, to be honest. So let me find my trusty scissors. Yeah. So I don't know if I need to use, I think I'm going to try to use this Yoo-Hoo glue stick. I'm going to give it a try because I have some other things. I have Mod Podge. It's not really super thick though. And when you're gluing down something like this, you don't want the thinnest glue. And I'm about out of my matte medium. Let me see if I have enough for this. Because this is really the best stuff. The medium, this is a soft gel matte. The medium matte is probably better for this. But I don't need a whole lot. I'm getting low on it, but I don't need a whole lot. And what I'm trying to find now is my little spatula. Move my coffee without hurting it. That's an important part of my art process. Here we go. So yeah, I think I'm gonna see. See, it's softer. There's some that's a little thicker, but I think this will be fine. So I'm just gonna put it down in the area I want to put my lace bit. And I kind of like this little area coming out over the eye, and then take what's on the top, and we get a little bit more down here in this area to hold this down good. And this is really, you need this in your arsenal if you're new to this. You can use the Yoo-Hoo glue stick. It's a lot less expensive, honestly. And they're hard to find in the stores. Michael's used to carry them, they don't anymore. So I order them from Amazon, but I order them by the case. But you can just order a couple at a time. I like the blue, it dries clear, but you can see where you put it. So I like that. When you're ordering, they have it, you know, in the white or clear, and then they have the blue or purple, and I like those. But the gel matte medium, when you're putting down thicker papers, or, you know, ephemera like this, or even this thicker plain card, I don't know that I would use the Yoo-Hoo. I might could, but this is going to put it down a lot faster and hold it better. And then you can go over the top of it, and it's a matte, so there's not going to be any gloss or shine to it. So if I were going to put down like a shiny photograph, I could put this over top, like these little guys. I've used these before from the Tim Holtz collection. These little guys, when I put them on, I like to put something matte over them because they have this shine to them. And I don't usually want that on my pages. So, and this again, I'll link it below. You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to, you know, Michael's. But I like the golden, but Liquitex is okay too, I think. So just get what's convenient and affordable for you. They're not that much different in price, I don't believe. All right. So I have that. I'm probably going to add the little butterfly somewhere up in here before I'm done. I laid this out in case I wanted to pull that off so I can kind of play with it here. Yeah, I kind of like that under that eye. So I'm just going to tear that off a little bit and stick it down. Alright, so I'm going to take a little break from adding the collage elements right now, and I want to do a little something with her face. So let me find. So if you're kind of new to this, for a long time I was looking for a really good pencil sharpener, and this is one that I think someone recommended, this brand, and I love this one because it has two sizes on one end, two sizes on the other end, and the shavings go in here that you can just dump from time to time. So now I wish I had gotten another one that was just a little bit smaller than this that would fit more easily into my cases when I'm going. But the name of this is, I think it's Cum, K-U-M, and so far it has sharpened everything from like graphite type pencils to pastel pencils to my Stabilo All, which is a softer lead. So yeah, I'll link that too, because it took me a long time. I bought 2 or 3 and they just didn't, you know, they didn't work. I didn't like the way they sharpened it all. So this is just a pencil. I'm going to mull this over. So this is just a work in progress, but I like that. Once in a while I like to do something like that. I'll do really fast art journal pages, and then sometimes I want something that I take my time with. So I know when I come back I'm going to want to blend this piece in a little bit more so there's just not this stark line, but really I'm going to be working from here down to get her the way I want her. So it's fun though. I'm just sitting here looking at all the different pages that I've done. A lot of these I've done on the jelly plate using like some acrylic paints that have a little metallic in them, and they're just thin washes, and sometimes they've gone through, you know, I don't know that you can see them with the light here, but yeah, there's shimmers and sparkles, and there's just different things to look at. So every time I look at this I see the different dictionary pages, and this is from this little spotch is from an old recipe book, and so I love things that just have a lot of different elements to them, so that every time you look at it, you're looking at you're seeing something a little different. That's interesting to me, or maybe it just appeals to my messy nature. I don't know. So, all right, so I'm going to stop this here and I shall return. Okay, so it's the next day and I am sitting down with this project to just play around. I want to add some more book pages. I'm just pulling stuff off that's on my desk. This is just a play session. So I want to see what I can do with her to bring her along to something that I like. And that's usually the goal of any day that I have. Sometimes it works out. Some days I go back and work some more on another day because I don't like what I've done. So I just really wanted something that's a little more stylized looking with her, and I wanted to use about as many products in my studio as I could get. I take the whole mixed media thing very seriously, and I try to mix as many different medias as I can. So I'm adding to her hair now, and I'm using stencils to do it, and I'm bringing in the paint colors that were already in her hair, the purple and the teals, and I brought in a little aqua. And I bring that into her hair. And then I want to brighten it a little bit, so I pull in that citron green, which is kind of a very yellowy green. And I use a makeup sponge that I've dampened a little, and I rub it around the outside of her to kind of brighten up the background a little bit. And doing it in the way that I'm doing it, it's a very thin coat, so it does not obliterate anything that's on that background. You can still see the images, the words, the different book pages that are back there. But I wanted something to help make the face pop. So I've added some different book pages to just her dress or robe or whatever it's going to be. It's not going to be a big deal. I just want some color down there, but I don't want it to compete a whole lot. So I'm starting with a black background, and then I'll stencil some various colors on top of it, but keeping it kind of muted because, again, I don't want it to really compete with her face. And then I go back and I add a little bit of that pearlescent pink through the stencils on her cheeks. And I do some brush work with her hair, bringing in some more of the aqua color and the purple just to define her hair a little bit more than what I had and to make it blend in with the garment I put on her. I also want to bring in just a little bit more shadowing under her neck and jawline. And so I take some of the purple that I have on my palette and I wet it down a little bit with a paintbrush. And I go in and I put some of that shadowing in and I pull some of it back off. And I also take some very soft pastels and I work those into around her eyes, which is what I am doing now. I don't know what brand this is. I've had these for a long time, but I love them. They put a lot of color down. And in fact, I'm actually going here and what I put down came out pretty dark, so I'm taking a white and going over it and blending it in to soften the color a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed this, and please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.